down to about 1.2, 1.1, 1.2. So I guess my granddog spent a couple of days with us and lifted his leg on that antenna a few times. Maybe that made a difference. I just love to take memory trips. You know, every time something is mentioned, I think of something in the past. And there's a lot of stories out there. Well, I was gone so much in the Navy. I had 11 deployments in 27 years, the longest being 1 year unaccompanied, and next was 8 months end to end. So I was gone a long time, gone a lot. I remember leaving once. My son was 6 months old, and when I got home, he was a year and a half. So I missed a lot there, so trying to make up for it now in retirement. But one thing I did do is I wrote a letter to my wife every day that I was gone, and they were all in shoeboxes up in the attic. And over the years, we kind of got out of chronological order, so several months ago now, I spent a couple of 3 weeks. I took all those boxes down and put them all in chronological order, re-sewed them all in nice boxes, well labeled. And, you know, it's interesting just to arbitrarily pull a letter and see what results. You know, you see faces that pop up, names that come to mind, and experiences. It's just like watching a TV show. Anyway, there's some prized possessions there, and someday maybe I should write a book. Anyway, Joe, on to you, KB9R, this is KC6HNK.
Okay, Chuck, the band took a dip. I copied you pretty much 100%, but there was quite heavy QSB at the end of your transmission. Well, maybe you ought to combine those letters or something like that, so you could go back and look at them in a volume or something. So anyway, that's the kind of thing that I'd probably do. And Gary, Chuck was asking, earlier if we'd ever met, and what I was trying to remember is how many years have we been holding a regular schedule? I'll have to look back in my logs and try to figure it out, but maybe you got it on the top of your head. I don't know. Okay. Gail, talking about you were drag racing. I can't remember now. Was it Pintos or was it Mavericks at the end? And I had a friend here who succumbed to cancer. Pancreatic cancer a few years back, and he ended up doing roundy rounds with either a Pinto or a Maverick. I can't remember which one it was right now, but I think it was a cost type of a deal was one of the factors, and the other factor was competing in something where he had more of a chance of winning. But anyway, kind of interesting. Well, I came in from the shop. I was out there doing some woodworking this afternoon, and my radio stand is getting pretty close to doing a final sand and doing finishing on. It's getting very close, and so that's been kind of fun. And being the anal guy that I am, like the first of every year, I check out all my test gear and radios and such that use batteries, and go through and check them and replace as necessary, and then label the piece of gear as to the date where the batteries were changed. Well, I was bored over Christmas here, and so I'm ahead of myself. I finished doing that and went through a lot of AA's, a lot of AAA's, a number of 9-volt batteries, and I guess a few C cells, but I only used 2 D cells, or excuse me, 3. I only used 3 D cells this year, so I guess D cells are a thing of the past. Mostly I used to use those in flashlights, but with the LED flashlights, they take a much smaller cell now. Well, Susie just popped in here, and she said the oyster stew is warmed up and simmering on the stove, so she asked me if I could get out there a little after 5. So I'll listen one more round, but then I'm going to have to get out of here and consume some more of that oyster stew. K6GLH, do you remember how long we've been conversing? KB9R.
KB9R and the group K6GLH. No, I don't exactly, but I remember dates, markers in time by traumatic events that happened, or significant events that I remember experienced. Had I been, did we know each other when I was evacuated for the Butte fire? It was in 2015. Over.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Was that the time when you came back and the firefighters were sitting at the end of your driveway?
Yeah, that was afterwards. They parked the truck there. Basically, I fed them breakfast, but it was a week before I knew whether or not I had a house, because it was a forced evacuation, and I ended up going to San Jose and staying with my ex-wife for that week. But that was a very significant PTSD event in my life. But we were talking back then.
Oh yeah. We were talking before then. But that gives me a marker. So I'll look before 2015 and try to figure it out. I remember when you had that fire. I thought, well, now he is going to be safe because all that brush is burned off, and you came back to me and said, oh no, now it's all tinder dry, and the next time it'll really burn. So, yep, I remember that well, and we were talking well ahead of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, but Gail would Gail was the one that basically kicked it all off here. I remember one night or one day I got a call from Gail out of the blue, and he asked me he wanted me to verify my identity, and that's when it all started here, when we agreed to get together on 20 meters for a QSO, and then you joined us, and we had the common interest of Collins collecting in our blood, so that's why we kind of hit it off. By the way, if you guys, Chuck or Joe, are interested in watching Space Cowboys, Netflix does not have it, and Amazon Prime wants to sell it to you for like $3 for a view, but you can watch it for free on YouTube. So if you just go to YouTube and search for Space Cowboys, you'll find it there. Well, I was thinking the other day about I see all these ads on Facebook all the time for Wild Alaska, a company kind of like Omaha Steaks, where they'll ship you boxes of food to your door in dry ice. And I'm thinking, well, maybe Wild Alaska could be talked into shipping lutefisk, and it would be they could ship it in lye, and it would be so much cheaper than using dry ice. Anyway, well, Chuck, it sounds like you've got the script there for a book in all those letters that you wrote your wife while you were deployed. So I'm sure you could recall a lot of stories just by going through those books and or those letters and writing a book. I have a friend that was a commercial pilot who ended up writing a book about all of his aircraft experiences over his life, and it turned out that it was a very successful book, and he ended up writing a sequel to it too, or another book. So, but he had a hard time getting established to begin with, so that was the problem there. Let's see what else here. Oh, I've just completed here about 6 months ago my second viewing of all of the Longmire series. And what amazed me was how much of it I had forgotten. It seems like the most recent episodes I had some minor, mild memories of, but for the most part I had forgotten almost all of it. So that gives me cause for concern here about the senility measurement. Anyway, okay, let me keep it moving here. Sarah's going to be starting to salivate there. I can feel it from here. So, Gail, you remember when you made that call out of the blue? WD9HFT and the group K6GLH.
Hey, Gail, can I just make a comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, Gary, I'm a little disappointed in your lack of respect when it comes to lutefisk and lefse and oyster stew. So I think you ought to work on your sensitivity training there, buddy. And the other thing is, just as a marker in time, do you remember proofreading an article that I'd written on Johnson Viking 122 power supply? Go ahead.
Who did you ask? Did you ask me?
Yeah. You were helping proof. You were proofing some of the electric radio articles that I was writing, and there was one on a power supply for a Johnson Viking 122 VFO. Do you remember proofing that for me?
Not exactly. The only thing I can remember that sticks out is that your first article there, you used too many personal pronouns.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, that article was in October 2014, and I was just trying to move the mark a little earlier. But I'll have to go back. I'm sure I've got some stuff written down where I can figure it out. Okay, pick it up, Gail. Apparently, Gary shows very little sensitivity towards Norwegian foods. WD9HFT, KB9R.
Yeah, KB9R with K6GLH and KC6HNK, WD9HFT. There are some people who just don't have an appreciation for the finer things in life. And I thought that little note that I said I'd send them a couple of 3 pounds of lutefisk in a bag. And, I'm sure the post office would really honor that if I just took a cloth bag and threw some lutefisk in it. And, Gary, you got to realize you don't need to use dry ice or lye. Lutefisk, if you get prime lutefisk,
It's dried. It's about like dog food or something. It's closer to a board, and I think you could ship it nearly anywhere as long as it stayed dry enough, and you could, because you have to rehydrate it at the other end. But all in all, we had an enjoyable time with the lutefisk discussions, and I thought maybe somebody would say something about the Spiele, because that's coming up. Matter of fact, it's over north of Chippewa Falls in Bloomer is where I have to go, and it is a very, very interesting evening. Matter of fact, I got to tell a short story here about. Oh gosh, it's getting to be quite a while ago, because I'm going to say 2006, maybe 2005, 2006. Normally, I have three other brothers that also belong to Spiele, but we got our sons, and so I had all my brothers there, all of them, and their sons, and there were 15 of us. And so a good friend of mine who does the emceeing for the thing, welcomed the crowd, and he announced it as the such and such meeting of the Spiele Lodge and the Christmas reunion of the Sorm family. Because of the 70 people there, 15 of us all had last names that ended in Sorm. And we devoured an immense amount of lutefisk. And when we got all done, one of my brothers is still sitting there rolling up lefse like an ice cream cone, filling the ice cream cone full of Swedish meatballs. And we're trying to figure out, my God, where are you putting that stuff? He was. I went with him and some of my other brothers and sisters to that church lutefisk supper just a month and a half ago now. But anyway, we talked about the ice cream cones made out of lefse full of meatballs, because and what happens if you don't get enough to eat the next day? All of that food was available, or the leftover food was available at the local Ford garage. So you could just come and help yourself. They had it right out in the showroom on tables, and anybody was welcome. And I should say, and this is for, it's kind of a joke, but the new people that get inaugurated, if a new member comes into Spiele, you go through a secret handshake training and so on, and then the last thing they do is they lead you to believe that you have to drink a glass of lutefisk juice, the juice you boil the lutefisk in. But in reality, they just take the glass and they put their finger in it and put it in the middle of your forehead, so that when you do come home at night, your wife will know that you actually we're at the place with the lutefisk. But I can't imagine taking a good swig of some nice warm lutefisk juice. Oh, that'll do it to you. So anyway, I kind of agree with Joe here. It's he said 5 o'clock. I think he meant 4 o'clock. I hope anyway, because we're coming up on 10 after 4 or so. So I think I will call this my last round here, and we will pass it on. Catch you guys again next week, maybe, if I'm in the Amory area here. And Gary, I think we're coming up on, if it wasn't 2013, I'm thinking it might have been late in 2013 or maybe early in 2014. We started this. I don't exactly remember the date, but I remember making the contact and just kind of, I'll shoot in the dark. It's kind of just like my name is rare enough. I did a bunch of searching and found one other guy with my name who lives in Alaska. and lo and behold, he's a ham. But I never talked to him on the air. I talked to him on the telephone. So, anyway, with that, guys, we'll catch you again next week, and we're going to pass it to KC6HNK, and a good New Year's to all. So, Chuck, take it away. KC6HNK. KC6HNK, are you there, Chuck?
Dan is taking a dump. He's way down. He's about an S5.
Yeah, I don't hear him at all, Gary, so we'll let it go.
Okay, we'll see you next week or so. Good luck.
Yeah, did you turn it over there, Chuck?
Yes, Gary, I turned it over to you for closing.
Okay, you took a real dive. The band really made a change there. So, well, thanks for joining us, Chuck and Gail and Gary. We'll look forward to talking to you next week. And Gary, I'm just doing a little digging here, and I'm seeing that we've been talking at least from say June of 2013, and I'm trying to look farther back than that, but I'm seeing instances of us talking back in June of 2013, so it's been a while. Okay, 73 guys, that oyster stew is calling my name. Oh, and by the way, one of the guys on AM here the other morning, we were talking about oyster stew, and he said, "Do you remember the Three Stooges and Curly ordering a bowl of oyster stew?" So you might Google YouTube Three Stooges and oyster stew for a silly laugh. 73 guys, K6GLH, WD9HFT, KC6, HNK, KB9R. So long.
Okay, we'll catch you next week, Joe, and 73, everybody. And Chuck, if you can still copy me, because the band has definitely changed, maybe you can regale us with some stories of your crossing the equator ceremony there with the King Neptune officiating the crossing of the equator. That must have some, you must have some good stories to tell about that. Anyway, okay, 73, catch you guys next week. K6GLH now clear.
I'm still playing with it to see where I want to keep it and play with it. So